Now, in some other news, a recent spate of people unwilling to stand by and watch misconduct and injustice has brought the whistleblower firmly back into the spotlight. Whistleblower. For an Australian, the term is uncomfortably synonymous with dibber-dobber. But whistleblowers have been responsible for bringing to light some of the country's great injustices. More recently, they've embarrassed governments.
I'm disappointed in myself.
Exposed sporting clubs, revealed unsafe work practices and ousted chair-sniffing pollies.
I sincerely regret my actions.
Relatively unprotected legally in Australia, whistleblowers are often shunned for their attempts to expose the truth. But is there anything un-Australian about setting things right? To discuss the role of whistleblowing in Australia, we welcome founder of Crikey and former whistleblower Stephen Mayne. Welcome, Stephen.
Hi, guys.
So tell us, what do you think? Is it un-Australian to blow the whistle?
Well, ever since the days of the convicts, Australians have been very anti-authoritarian. You know, you don't lag on your mates. You know, if you're at the cricket, you don't dob your mate into the cops just before he's about to streak. But, you know, if you're dobbing in a pedophile or something like that, well, then I think no one's going to complain about it. So it goes both ways.
And you do have your own whistleblowing story too, I understand.
Oh, well, in the early 1990s, I was a spin doctor for Jeff Kennett, who was the then Victorian Liberal Premier in Victoria. And in 1997, I went on Four Corners and talked a fair bit about his share dealings. And, you know, it was a pretty tough experience. You get ostracised, you get attacked, you get called a liar on radio. You know, it's a pretty lonely act going down that road.
Now, there's obviously, as you mentioned, big consequences for being a whistleblower. Are there legal protections for someone that wants to blow a whistle?
Well, we've got like 8 different sets of laws, so all the different states have their laws, and if you follow the procedures, so if you do try and go through the proper authorities first, and if you feel you're going to be victimised, you can be protected. But there's a lot of people saying there isn't enough protection, and certainly during the Howard years, I mean, there was 111 different AFP investigations into leaks under John Howard, and a couple of public servants actually got convictions. So there isn't a lot of protection at the federal level.
Surely there's so much corruption in Australia. Is there enough whistles in Australia?
Well, I mean, you need whistleblowers because in a democracy, you know, free speech, information is power. So I reckon you've got to encourage whistleblowers as much as possible. But with these terror laws and all the sort of corporate interests, there is a lot of pressure out there to suppress information. So if you've got a spare whistle, get out there and blow it.
Stephen, are there more whistleblowing happening now than ever before? Because it seems like it's in the press a lot.
Well, look, there's been a spate of it this week, but I think it tends to follow controversy. So where you got a controversy like, say, Melbourne Storm, or particularly the insulation scheme, I mean, how can you not have, you know, hundreds of whistleblowers when that's been one of the biggest fiascos we've seen in a long time? So, you know, and there's more, I think, with Kevin Rudd you're going to see, because John Howard was so tough, and Kevin Rudd is promising new laws, and the really big test for Kevin Rudd will be whether he calls the cops in with that whistleblower from the Environment Department who was on Four Corners on Monday night. And if he doesn't call the cops in, well, then maybe a few more whistleblowers will come out and have a go.
Well, we will be watching to see what happens. Stephen Mayne, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for your thoughts.
Thanks very much.